Hello everyone and welcome to Kernel Convos, and my name is Manini Liputu, and today I am going to share with you what a mess my relationship was. What I'm here to do today is to share my life journey with you. I'm here to share with you my experiences of pain, of trying to find myself, falling out of myself, and eventually getting to a point where I realize that I need to go through a process of acceptance and healing. There's so many things that we go through that get us to a point of breaking, literally, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And that is exactly what I went through for a period of 1 year and 6 months. It felt like an entire lifetime. So I felt that sharing my experience with you, sharing how my self-discovery journey started and why I needed to find, or rather get to terms with the person that I am. You know, because we go through so many things and we have so many insecurities of ourselves that we usually lie to ourselves about who we are. So there's this one particular thing that occurred in my life that got me to revealing just who I was and getting to work on myself. And that is when my self-discovery journey started, my previous relationship. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm hoping not to cry, but if I do, just grab your tissues and join me. So I was dating a guy who was 11 years older than me. Nothing much. He had 3 kids and I had none. And he's a widower. He moved on to a relationship with me a year after his wife passed away. So he inboxed me and we started chatting, and I saw a man, a husband, you know, because I think at that time I was not desperate for marriage, but it was one of the things that you grow up as a girl dreaming about. You say, I'm going to be a wife one day. So we started chatting and then we dated. I knew he told me every truth about him and I believed it. And then I decided to go to my parents. I'm like, okay, you know what? This guy is a bit oldish. He's got children. He's a widower. So I need to fill my parents in when I've never told them of any relationship whatsoever. So I sat my mom down, sat my dad down. I spoke to them separately because I felt like if I put them in one room, they will feel one another. But surprisingly so, they both shared the same sentiments. They just were not for the relationship. They said I had no kids, hence I had no experience of being a mother. And they believed that this was just not my journey. It was not meant for me. So in that frustration, they opened up to friends in the church, to family, and I'd get calls and texts literally every week to tell me that my parents are in discomfort and they are asking them to talk to me. The only people I got support from were my friends, because I would tell them about this man because they don't know anything about him, and then they'd believe me and support. And I think what I thought to myself was that, I mean, this man deserves to be loved again. You know, his kids deserve to have a mother. So when everyone was judging me about not being 30 as yet, not having an experience to be a mother, yet wanting to mother 3 kids, and, you know, dating a man who was married, they believed that it was going to be very difficult for me. And I found that very disturbing. I put everyone in a box and I was like, okay, I'm blocking you. I blocked them on social media. I blocked them from my life. So the only person literally I was close to was him. And I mean, he sold me a picture of the relationship and what it would be in the future. So I was there. I didn't go against my parents' wishes, but I just thought, I think differently from you. I don't understand why you're judging this man. So got into the relationship, and 3 months down the line, I found out that he was cheating. I went through his phone. I'd like to know from you guys what you think about an accessible phone in a relationship. So in a relationship as partners, if you think that your phone is your phone and no one should go through anyone's phone, type no with a lot of O's just to show Guta Asisi and easy. But if you think, like I do, you think that a phone should not have any password, or if it does, I should access it and there's nothing to hide, then you say yeah. For me, it's a big dilemma if you don't want me to know what's happening in your phone. So they do say what you look for, you will find. So I went through his phone and I found multiple conversations with a lot of women. And what was shared there, sure, they got to me. And how I stayed even after that, I have no idea. I think in me, I had this thing that says, no, people are still wrong. You know, I'm just gonna, it's gonna pass. So I confront him about it and he cries. So I was like, oh, a man who cries. And he apologizes and says to me, you found me at a time where I was trying to change my life and I was just angry at God. So I forgive him. I'm like, okay, I found you at a bad time. It's okay, you'll change. But 6 months down the line, the same thing happens with different people. I confront him about it. He gets angry. He asks me, why am I going through his phone? He can take me to court, defamation of character. So I was fighting with myself now because exactly what people were telling me was going to happen was happening. I started losing myself. Mentally, I was breaking down. I was debilitating, literally, physically, and emotionally. And I started going to the gym. So I lost massive weight. And people thought it was some confidence transformation. But it was really because I did not find myself as attractive because I was asking myself, what is it about me that he doesn't like so much? And I was afraid because everyone told me. My parents said to me, well, their reasons were not what was happening, but I could understand, what was wrong. So here I was trying to fit into a life that he already had. And it was difficult because I had to find myself in that space. I fell into a depression phase. And I think the one time when I knew that I was fallen, I fell rock bottom, was when I was in my room and I was chatting to my mother. And I told her of a rumor that I heard. And when I told her, I didn't expect her to give me that response. She said to me, I am going to fight for you. You are my child, and it does not matter what you decide to do, but no one is going to mess with you, because if they mess with you, they mess with me. At that moment, my phone fell, and I didn't weep. I didn't cry. Till today, I don't know how to explain that, but I was screaming, literally from the core of my stomach. And my entire family ran to my bedroom to find out what was happening. And my mom was just telling them, no, she heard something and it just, didn't treat her well. It was after then that I realized, it's after I went through his phone again. I kept on going through his phone and I found myself calling someone. Yo, guys. Yeah, I called someone to find out how true it was. And when that lady told me that she's the one who must be angry and not me, because at the time when I was dating him, they were still together. That's when I was like, okay. So now I'm calculating, I mother your kids, I'm with them every weekend, I buy them stuff. Where you're sitting, you could be thinking, but now again, why do you get yourself in that situation? But that's because I loved the guy. But it was bad. And at the same time, I would listen to him talk about his wife. On the 4th of a certain month, I would know that today is a day where we are silent because it's the birthday of the late wife. So I felt very torn when I found out that he was cheating on me and that he kept on lying time and again. So you get to a point where you ask yourself, are you enough? Are you worthy? After not listening to your parents, to your family members, to your cousins, to your church members, leaving a certain church, going to another one, you know, blocking people on social media. I was out of character. I was not myself at all. And when I fell into depression, then I realized that I needed help. And then I went to a therapist. And the first question she asked me was, what is love? I was trying to find the right words to put it together, you know. And then she said to me, why are you even taking time to think of it? It's very simple. And as I tried to answer, she said to me, you don't know what it is. So why are you in a relationship? And that hit me hard because I was about to say, because and then she's like, whoa, are you going to say because you love him? And that's where it all started. Every therapy session of mine was breaking down walls that I had from when I was a young child, a young girl, rather. So here I am. I dumped the guy, had a very hard time, had detachment issues with the children. Now having to go back home to say, I'm single. Can I just let you know that for 3 months, my parents and I were not talking, but we live in the same house. I left the church I was in to go to another one. My lifestyle changed completely. I did not want to be home. And for me, I was fighting for a love that I believed in. I believed that he deserved a second chance at love, if you may call it. But I just had to let go. I had to leave. And so I left the relationship and I carried on with therapy, and I'm still going through it. I think it's only today that I'm not crying talking about it, but it's been a tough journey. And in December last year, I decided to take a solocation, something I came up with, and I said to myself, you need to go alone, to vacate alone, something I've never done before. Took my journal, took my Bible. It was a holistic working on. I needed to work on my whole life, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But that was when I realized that there was a foundation of insecurities that were underlying that I knew about, but I just didn't take time to see them and realize them. And I blamed this man so much, not knowing that I was actually a problem to myself too. So I'm sitting here and I'm going to share everything that comes after that. My realization or discovery of my insecurities and who I thought I was, my pains, my struggles, and how I overcame all of it. I'm still in the process. I'm still healing. I still cry when I think about it. I still cry when someone comes to me and tells me, he said you were desperate for marriage, that's why he left you. He said you wanted to meet his kids when he didn't want you to. You know, the one that hurt really bad was apparently I had a problem with light-skinned people. And when I'd see him looking at one and ask, what, do you miss your wife? So things like that really get to me, but each day is a better day. I look back and I think to myself, I never blame the process. I do not regret being in the relationship, but a lot had happened, but I believe it was for a reason. And now I can share my story, and I know that there's so many of you who have similar stories to share, or bigger things, maybe that seem small to other people, and some pains that you have gone through and that you had to tears that you had to shed because of an experience. And I'm hoping that we can start this journey together of sharing with one another our hurts and our pains, and how we can learn how to grow together in overcoming, in accepting, and in loving ourselves. So if you've ever been in a bad relationship, if you may put it, or a relationship that got you to self-discovery, a painful relationship, type pain. So just type pain in the comments below if you've been in a very painful relationship. And then type Andizi if you've never experienced pain in a relationship, if everything is good and dandy for you, if you've been happy, you know, and you've never found out anything. And I'd like to know, let's talk about it in the comments below. If you resonated with my video, and you loved it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be part of the family and you want to be part of my journey of self-actualization, acceptance, and healing, and you would like to experience your own journey and go through your own journey of acceptance and healing, then you can subscribe, because we believe in the 4 pillars of life being holistic, which are the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and the emotional. Thank you.